Welcome to another episode of Caps and Cards 716. I'm Spuddy J18, your host. I'm joined today by
TJ North Shore Fitted here. Today we're going to talk about the results of the MLB playoffs, a little bit of Boston sports talk, a little bit of like general sports talk. And John went to the Sabres team store today and picked us out some goodies. And John was going to show me what Ryan included in their package from Noble North.
yeah, some cool stuff. So I'm gonna immediately switch over to what I was wearing all day, which is the Great Lakes Loons, the Camels, their Spanish theme night, and it is, guess what day it is? Hump Day. So this is Hump Day Caps and Cards right here.
I'm going with the My Fitted Braves in the velvet with the inaugural patch for SunTrust Park, now Truist Park, in the velvet colorway.
I could send you a cup for that. I have the beer mug. I think I showed it to you. I have two of them. I found the other one.
What was it? The jersey I'm wearing today is Nuxie, Phil Negro. And something that's special about this jersey and my Hank Aaron jersey are today. They both passed away this year. So on the on-field for the Braves this year, they have a patch in between their battermen on either side, honoring those two players. Phil Negro, for those who don't know who he is one of the greatest knuckleballers of all time. He was almost traded a couple different times to a number of different teams. When the Big Red Machine was going to trade for him before he went to the Yankees, they asked Johnny Bench if he could catch him. And he said, you better trade for his fucking catcher, too.
So, fun fact here, the Loons are actually a minor league team associated with the Dodgers. So
hey, works out in the end.
It actually worked out because you're wearing Braves and I'm wearing Dodgers gear, even if it's minor league gear.
I had to swapping out my fitted for timeline joint from Lids.
And I have my last Dodgers World Series 2018 right here from Hat Club.
Oh, I got the Sox one. I should have dug that one out. Although I don't think after Houston handled us today, I don't see us coming back in the series back in Houston.
No.
I think we're done. I think we might win one in Houston and extend it, but I don't think we're going to win the series and go to the World Series. I think it's going to be Stros.
Crazy game, man. Crazy game.
Although I've been wrong. I said the same thing about the Yankees, so hopefully I'm wrong. This is probably one of my most worn caps. It's a BP cap. It's the Braves. I love the material on this. It's like light. It's perfect for summer. You see the under on this is all nasty for me wearing it all the time.
I know I just did the fucking unboxing for it, but I'm already like scrambled on where I threw all my Noble Norse and fucking.
This one?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, actually worn.
And
this is my golf hat for
if you get that kind of love out of a hat, though, it's like it's special.
It's just the way it fit, like the material, it like shaped my head pretty well, and that shadow it's like that BP material is really nice on these, and you can't go wrong with Tomahawk.
So I'm gonna throw on this Sabres hoodie because I got it today at the Sabres store. It is apparently, if I show the tags, and I haven't even cut them off yet, but it has Authentic Pro in the collar.
Ooh, and it's like Fanatic branded?
It is Fanatics brand, not Adidas branded. And the players actually wear this during their period interviews. They wear this basically any after game interview. This is the official hooded. So I'm going to show that off here now. So nice color on there. Sabres hockey. And then the NHL shield on this side, the plastic, just like the game jersey. And then on this side, you see the Fanatics F. It's almost kind of like fitted to you because it's got like this collar.
No string?
It's really nice.
It's not one of those drawstring hoodies?
No, it's just like it's very like fitted to you as well. So like I tried on the 2X because I was like, I want to see what the fit was like. And yeah, I like stuff a little baggier, but I still like it to be form-fitting. So it was a pretty good grab. So that being said, Buffalo Sabres team store exclusive. This will be the drip now. Have that special tag in there. So I'm rocking the Sabres hockey, and yeah.
So I switched to the Hat Club glow in the dark. This
Ooh,
one's controversial because the A was supposed to glow in the dark on these. That's what they advertised.
yeah.
And this was the only one that didn't glow in the dark on the front too.
I have the Yankees and the Angels from that one.
But I do have a cool idea for this cap. Me and John were just talking after the Braves game. I was like, well, I really wish they came out with those fitteds with the. I wish they did like the post production on like some retail fitteds, and the Braves team store sold them. They didn't with the 15 when the 44 and the 35 for Nuxie and Hank Aaron. I want to either go to Lids or send this off to Mr. Rodriguez, and we'll get that done in the glow in the
Crowns
dark.
and Kicks, shout out Crowns and Kicks. He's
A little bit of
obviously he's the guy that makes all these for us. Great guy, Paul Rodriguez. You know, I got my dad wearing one of these.
Post production.
So my dad is going to be wearing one of these real soon. I'm going to make some business cards so he could just hand people like a QR code and tell them to scan it and fucking find us that way. So we're going to be popping from that. And then, so we're going to start this video out. I got some crazy deals at the Sabres Store today, and we're going to talk about that now. So I'm going to start with my white Taylor Hall. Check out that, like, can you see the stitching on top of the patch?
Yeah, the 3D Buffalo. Yeah, I can see it. Is that the new one this year?
Yeah, this is this year's jersey and last year's.
Okay. I was gonna say, how did it end up with a Hall on the back?
So yeah, so all the game jerseys have this Adidas tag on it. And then if they still do it, there was this little fucking black like bubble thing.
Yeah, the little black bubble thing. I know you're talking about to verify it.
And it has the full size fight strap. And if you cut this tag, if you cut it down the side, you'll actually see a verification code so that you can find out that your jersey is real, and it links to an Adidas thing on the website. So a little fun fact there. And you'll know that on official jerseys, this is heat stamped. See, you don't see any stitching through the part of the shield.
Yeah, I got my Pasternak somewhere.
Yeah, normally these are $255. I paid $139. So, but Will Butcher now wears number 4. So if I want to get it retagged at some point, I mean, you know,
this has that button you were talking about.
Yeah, that's the Adidas button. Yeah. So that was only on the jerseys for like a year, and now they're just doing this if you cut the tag thing. So
the thing I thought this one is the numbers are like plasticky.
So that was a team issue jersey versus your jersey.
Yeah, which is just a retail authentic.
Yeah. So I have a team issue Taylor Hall, which is pretty fucking cool for $139. You can't fucking beat that. And then, so TJ, if you could show yourself again, I'm going to show off your jersey. So we both thought that it was a sweet, wicked deal. First of all, it's got the Ad Pro Sports. And for $35, you can't fucking beat that. So here's the jersey.
Yeah, it's practice jersey. Bisson.
And it's Bisson.
You already know I'm rocking that Bison's cap with that one.
Which if I would say Bison, you know, but this, and you can tell it's an authentic made by Adidas because it's made in Canada, and those are actual game issued jerseys. These are game issued jerseys. So wicked, so wicked.
This could be the cap goes on that mother.
And I really need to inspect the jersey a little bit, but I'm almost positive there was like a rip in both of these jerseys, just like small rips, nothing crazy. Nice. I love that. Crazy good logo. I mean, at some point I will show off all my Bison jerseys for a video or something.
I've got a team issued Braves jersey I want to show.
I mean, if you wanna keep talking Braves while they're hot, I mean, you know, the Sabres are hot as well. You know,
we are talking about team issued stuff, and I want to talk about this is kind of cool because it's a throwback. So it's a team issued throwback. This is from the 04 season, actually. So it's that cream color. They wear this on Saturdays now. It's got the hammer, the Chief Knockahoma sign,
Oklahoma. Yep.
and it's number 14.
Mm.
And the reason I bought this is because Christian Pache, when he first came up for the Braves, was number 14.
Mm.
And I really wanted a Christian Pache jersey, but I didn't want to go into the new Nike Authentics because they're like $350 a pop.
Yeah.
100.
I did buy a fake Blue Jays this year. I went to buy a powder blue from China, and it came out kind of tealy. And I'm a little disappointed because I really like the Blue Jays this year, but it has too much like green in it.
So you're going to ask, how do you know this is team issued? Well, the manufacturer on it is AIS, and it's numbered 48.
Is it? It's made USA. Yep, I see it.
Yep. They were the ones that did the throwbacks in the 04 season, and for a while. They still do some of the teams.
Like 99% of team issued jerseys are made in the USA because they need to get them immediately. So
No, it's not that. It's in the MLB contract for them to be America.
That really breaks my heart though, because the whole derby thing and getting a bunch of hats. I know you tagged me in Team Fit the other day for Greenville Astros and the Michigan Devil Rays. And that shit is just so cool. I can't wait to get those in hand.
Yeah, the cool thing about this one is it's Julio Franco, actually. This was the ageless wonder. He's the oldest guy to have a grand slam. And we happen to be the same size, although I think it was more vanity sizing because this is a 5'52". This fits me, but it's tagged 48. So,
shit, 48, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of these
That's my size.
It's not your size. I think this player he wanted it spec to be a 40. He basically said, I want a 48 tag on it, but I want the measure to be this.
Okay.
Because that was like his second to last season was 04. Because he was drafted in like the 80s.
Yeah.
Cool fact. I should get a Julio Franco card now.
Yeah. We'll look into it. I was looking at Bonds autos the other day just to kind of see if they were like still popping.
I think that everybody's waiting to sell those because this is his last year of eligibility with the Hall of Fame this next year.
Barry Bonds?
This is the last season where they can decide whether to bring them in or not, unless it's through the Veterans Committee.
So how do you feel about that? And what are your thoughts on Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame?
I got Bonds' rookie card here graded 10. Don Ross.
That's an 8.
Or 8. Sorry, 8. Sorry.
A 10 is flawless. I mean, perfect cut corners.
This one, it's an 8.
It's still pretty close, you know.
Yeah, still cool. He's wearing the square bell cap.
The
Bonds hadn't cheated.
The pillbox.
I think there should be an asterisk with the home run record, and I don't think he belongs in the Hall if he cheated. Same thing with Clemens. I don't think either of them should get in. Because once you let one cheater in, what's the difference between letting Shoeless, Joe Jackson, all those other guys cheated?
Counter argument. Why shouldn't Pete Rose be in if the steroid guys are still eligible to get in?
Because he got banned from baseball. That's the reason Shoeless Joe isn't in either. He got banned from baseball. But I think Rose has a better case because his issue is he never cheated during the game. He gambled on sports. He said he did gamble on games, but he never gambled against his own team. And his bookie came out and said that he wasn't gambling on his own team. All that stuff sealed because the commissioner and him made a deal. Then the commissioner died that he made the deal with. And then this new commissioner came in, and I think the idea was they were going to ban Rose for life. I think posthumously, you'll see Rose in the Hall of Fame because they still trot him out. Like the Reds trotted him out when they were at the All-Star game. They have the statue of him in front of Great American Ballpark.
Great American Ballpark, yeah.
You can't tell the story of baseball without Pete Rose in the 70s. Charlie Hustle.
So let me give you a little backstory on, because I've been to Great American Ballpark and I've seen the Rose Garden. Hint, hint. What else do you have in Cincinnati? Like you have no. I met George Foster. I met George Foster. He was a part of that Pete Rose team.
Joe Morgan?
No, George Foster. Joe Morgan was a Cardinal.
Joe Morgan played on the Red, or Morgan played on the Reds.
Maybe ended career, but he was part of like the 60s dynasty of the fucking.
He was part of that Reds team in the 70s. He was a big part of that Reds team.
But he was a huge part of the Cardinals in the 60s because I think they came out with 4 champs in the 60s because
they were one of the first teams to integrate.
I have the ring from it. I got a Joe Morgan and my dad got a Bob Gibson.
This tells you all you need to know about Pete Rose. Right here. I'm a big fan.
I'm also a big fan because I was reading a Sports Illustrated like 30 for 30 on him. And he used to go to like tennis courts and he would take his baseball bat and return serves from the tennis court with a baseball bat because he was just practicing his swing. And he was the only player during the lockout that really kept up with his swing and kept everything in order. When he came back and ready for the All-Star game was the first game, like the resume, he was still on fire.
Well, I would say the thing with Rose that made me like him so much was his drive for the game, his drive for excellence. He had a commitment to the fans. That's why he bowled over that catcher in the All-Star game.
That's the game I'm talking about.
Where he had dinner with him the night before. They were friends. And he goes, those people paid money to see me play. They don't want me just to go in and get tagged out. They want me to go and take the catcher out. He goes, I want to score runs. I want to win.
Also cueing my favorite quote from the movie Major League. And I quote, better get off the tracks when the train's coming through. That was super influenced by Pete Rose. And I know they're playing the Yankees in that game and it's all hypothetical, but if I had a Pete Rose spirit thinking that it was in the movie Major League, that was it. I mean, I definitely cannot superimpose him on. I can't superimpose him on every other player because he was just that kind of guy that was heart of the game.
And then he's done so much as an ambassador for baseball. I think the way to bring him back into the fold would have been when they legalized gambling, sports gambling across the U.S. They should have made him commissioner of gambling for baseball. In all honesty,
they should have made him the face of DraftKings or something like that. I feel like it's such an untapped market that if you made Pete Rose the head of that, you could even sell merch on it. Like, I remember going to the Reds game and people were selling shirts that said, hey, I'm with Pete, give me 200 on the Reds. Like, and this guy would be out of all his shirts of Pete Rose after the night ended. So obviously he has a market and he has a fan base and people flock back to him. He has a very clean autograph. It's actually, and I quote, the only card my dad will not add to his 85 signed set because of what he thinks he did to baseball. I have the entire set signed minus Pete Rose. He will not add that. He might have that card, but he will not add that card to the binder. He is like against, fuck Pete Rose. That's my dad's stance.
Yeah, a lot of the old heads like that. I think it's changing. If Pete Rose can hang on a few more years, because he's getting up there in age, I think as those old sports writers disappear, I think you'll see a lot of the newer heads realize you can't tell the story of baseball without him, and they should embrace him.
I mean, I know Cincinnati still embraces him because I've been there. I've seen the Rose Garden. They have every ball past like 3,000. They have such a shrine of Pete Rose.
They're such a class organization too when it comes to stuff like that, the Reds, because they've been around forever.
And when they were doing their 150 years of baseball, they had Pete Rose there. I was there for one of their celebrations. It was absolutely perfect. I mean, they had all these players from the 60s and 70s coming out of the woodwork. And it was such a nice picture to be able to see the Reds, showing the great red machine and just the power of baseball and the influence that it has. Like the influence it had on me, hearing it from my dad, knowing about the big red machine is way different than like when we just hear about it. You might read an article and it doesn't have that passion. It doesn't
I'd say that it was the quarantine period where I watched a lot of the documentaries, like Ken Burns's edition of baseball, and I watched a few. ESPN put out all the 30-30s for free. I would just watch because there was no sports on. I just started binging all these series, and I really connected with Rose the way he played. He was a blue collar guy. Yeah. The only reason he got a shot was because his uncle was the scout for the Reds. And he didn't take that team had went to the World Series. He goes, I'm going to take that person's job. He goes, they just went to the World Series and lost. He goes, I can help you guys out. They named him Charlie Hustle because he was the only guy running down the line at spring training.
I mean, the point I want to make about him being featured in Sports Illustrated, the article I've read about this All-Star Game article, it's just that he always had the heart. He was always in shape. He was always ready. And that baseball strike, and he came back from it, and he went right to the All-Star Game, and he slugged in the All-Star Game. I mean, you can't have a better picture than that.
Yeah, one of my current jersey grails is his Reds. I want that Reds pullover, the all red one with the Cincinnati on the front, Pete Rose. But that's going to be hard to come by because Major League Baseball won't give Mitchell and Ness the rights to make anything with Pete Rose on it. That's why that Philly should have Rose on the top, but it doesn't because Mitchell and Ness couldn't make it with the Rose on the back. And that's kind of a pain in the neck to get done because it needs to be put on a nameplate for that style of jersey for the 1980 Phillies jerseys. So you have to know somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, so kind of staying on topic, kind of transition in here. At the end of the day, I think Pete Rose should be in the Baseball's Hall of Fame because of how many hits he has. And I've seen all the baseballs he hit. I went to the Bobblehead Hall of Fame. I went to like all the stuff you can do in Cincinnati and see about him. I mean, it's just it's like a Tom Brady, the GOAT story. Like you have to give it to him at the end of the day. There's no way to crown Pete Rose and not give him that hit crown.
The other thing, the fact is that he was a Gold Glover at multiple positions. He played outfield. He played
another
first.
One. Yeah, he was like he was a modern day utility man before the utility man was even a thing.
Well, the National League didn't have the DH, so he had, if he wanted to be in the lineup, he had to play on the field. He had to field the ball.
But you wanted that bat in your lineup, hands down. I mean, you can't even argue that. If you were playing a game and you had a drafted team, Pete Rose would be in your top 3 hitters.
He was never a crazy slugger. He was always a guy that just got on base.
Small ball.
Got the rallies going.
Small ball. Easy. Small ball.
The fact, it was really interesting. A couple years ago, he did an interview on the Rick Eisen show. And he was talking about modern baseball and how they elevate and they swing away and they strike out. He goes, I would be out of a job if I struck out 300 times in a season. He goes, it's embarrassing. Some of these shifts, he goes, nobody lays down a bunt. I can get a double. He goes, even now. And I was laughing. And Rick Eisen was laughing.
I'm switching, but
I just love I love the interviews with him and how he's still passionate about a game that rejected him. Justin Turner is done for the postseason with
I saw him grabbing his hamstring earlier.
No, but Dave Roberts said he's done for the postseason. So the Dodgers are facing elimination tomorrow in LA, where they do not have a starter because they had Scherzer come out the other night, and they had Buehler pitch the other day. They do not have a starter. It's going to be a bullpen game for them. And they had to burn a bunch of their relievers after the 6th inning against the Braves. Meanwhile, the Braves have Max Fried, who's on pretty good rest. Ian Anderson, who only pitched an inning or two.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty good. Like the Braves might be able to close it out. I'm hoping they can close it out tomorrow. If it comes back to LA or comes back to Atlanta, I still think they can close it out. But you don't want the Dodgers getting that momentum back.
Yeah.
That's what the Red Sox problem was.
I just fucking had them here. I had the Noble North that I got the other day, but I have the hoodie right here. So,
but it doesn't matter.
What I'm trying to transition to here is Noble North. Oop, and I got the hood on the front. These numbers or letters are like really nicely printed on. It honestly, if I held this next to like my Bills or Sabres, like I feel like this is a very nice, it's very soft, it's got that fleece in the hood. It's very nice sweater. I tried it on the other day on show. It's awesome. Oh, you're wearing the Peaky Blinders? I got mine right here.
This is that Cardinal one. It's like I call it the Christmas colorway because it's Cardinal red and green.
I found it.
No, but this one's the 2.0. That's the 3.0.
This is the 3. I have the 1.0 somewheres. I think, or no, I think I missed the 1. So this is
that's the one that sold out like crazy. The 1.0 sold out.
This is the Fox with the rust and then no back and this hat. So I kind of want to just get your opinion on the 3.0.
I think that one's better than this one.
I like the one you have in your hand a lot. I think I missed that one, but I have the 1.0.
I like that colorway because that can go better with anything because it's black.
And then I have the Heather Noble North and logo. Fire. Yeah,
so you showed
fire. This shit is fire. This has my approval rating. Both these hats though, fucking off the chain. I was so excited to get this box.
I love that Griffey one he did because he said it was inspired by Ken Griffey, the teal and the black. Because he obviously loved Griffey because when he was on our show, he showed all those Griffey cards he had.
And Joe Carter. So he's somewhere between Seattle and Toronto, in my opinion.
Well, no, Griffey was just like one of those athletes like Pete Rose was for the 70s. Like,
oh, is my hat facing the other way and your hat's facing that way?
I think it's because we're opposite sides of the thing. I think they're going the same way.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Hear it from the thing.
Yeah. So basically, the moral of the story is that he gave us Smarties, bro. So give me a good old Boston Smarties.
Smarties?
Smarties. You heard it here, guys. We have Smarties. These are Canadian Smarties, not fucking American Smarties. So
like the Irish candy.
Yeah. So you heard it here. We got a good old Boston Smarties.
I did like to circle back with the Boston accent thing. Alex Verdugo had an interview like a week or two ago in the postseason where they asked how you like in Boston. He goes, the fans are wicked awesome. And he's like, and like you try to put on Boston accent, he goes, yeah, I'm your cousin from Boston. And in the background, you can hear Dirty Water playing as people are shuffling out of the stadium. He's laughing.
Your cousin from Boston.
I thought it was funny as a Bostonian because I hate that commercial, but it was
cool. Every
time
I grab a Sam Adams though, I fucking sing that song. Like it is so implanted in my head that I can't.
I'm so happy that Verdugo. I liked him as a Dodger, and I was really excited when he got traded here, just because I didn't think he was going to be the caliber player he is now, but I just knew he wanted to be here. Mookie obviously didn't want to be here. The only reason he was here was we were paying him $22 million a year.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not worth that contract.
I mean, he's a clutch player, but like, at the end of the day, I think it's like you're looking at home runs over strikeouts and shit like that, and like small factors.
He's not a power bat. He's more of like an on-base guy. He has power. He likes to hit on the leadoff spot. So a lot of those dingers that could be 3-run shots or 2-run shots are going to be solos.
So Mookie Betts to me is the Willie Mays Hayes of the Dodgers, because he came in hitting line drives and solid singles and doubles in the movie Major League. Yes, I know Willie Mays Hayes is fictional, but Mookie Betts is the real life version of this player. He is literally Like if he just batted second or third, you could be talking 2-3 runs in an inning.
No, he does have the speed still, but I think eventually, because he signed that 10-year deal with the Dodgers, eventually when his speed starts to go, is going to be where the issue is, where he's just going to hit for average. He's not going to be
And
stealing.
that's where you will see the Dave Roberts system. And I promise, when Dave Roberts, I mean, I remember watching him in the Bisons. I remember watching him on so many levels, and I still like to follow him. And I really feel like I'm only a Dodgers fan because of Dave Roberts. Like I can associate myself with them. I'm not like a fan, but like I'm a fan of him. So when you put that all together, Dave Roberts being a mastermind as a manager, I fucking love it.
I would like to say that anytime it's a regular season game and Dave Roberts comes to Boston, he gets a standing ovation because he stole that second base on Mariano Rivera.
I mean, probably the only guy.
No, there's a few other guys. There's probably Jake Peavy's another one.
I think that it's so assertive that he stole off Mariano, but I don't know if he stole off Yachty. You know, like that was something I would have to look into, because when Willie Adames stole off Yachty this season, he took the whole bag with him because he was like, I stole second. No,
all I'm going to say was that momentum shift has been the momentum shift where the Red Sox finally got over the hump with the Yankees. The Yankees haven't beat us in the postseason series since that. They have not. In 2009, we weren't in it when they won the World Series.
So when I tell Ryan about this episode and that we're wearing his Peaky Blinders or Sneaky Blinders, I'm going to tell him to look for the Smarties clip. And, we gave him a true Buffalo and Boston welcome, and you're going to get one of these packs of Smarties. So Smarties and Wicked Smart. I'm surprised you didn't write Wicked Smarties on them, because that would have been wicked Harvard right there. So that would have clicked to me as like a reference. But overall, I honestly I think it was a good play by him to throw Smarties in there.
I don't know. I'm just glad we're starting to get a little momentum here. I can't wait to have Ryan on the show again. And I can't, if you're a collector, even if you're just starting out, if you DM one of us and you're available when we're available, we're kind of all over the place with availability.
So break it down for me a little bit. All right. I know you said DM, but like get basic, get English for me. Just like really break it down what it means.
Let's say you want to come on Cards and Caps. Mm-hmm. And you're either a new collector in one of the groups, whether it be Fitted Mafia or on Instagram, you see us tagging and posting stuff, or if it's in a Discord, time Discord, and you want to come on the show, DM me or direct message me or John explaining who you are, what you want to show, and we'll try and work out a time that all three of us are available. Mm-hmm. We'll come on, we'll shoot something through Zoom, then we post to YouTube. Then we post to your you can post to your Instagram. We post to our personal Instagrams with our links and stuff like that. We want to showcase other collectors and showcase other collections.
So let me ask you another question. So when we organize our meetings for Cards and Caps, we're taping live and we're taping, completely unfiltered. Tell me about that.
Well, it's really off the cuff. We just have a natural where me and you are both people persons. Mm-hmm. So we just start talking. Half the time we're talking to the lobby and you're saying, stop. Save it for the show. It's just so natural. Like we're just having a conversation like we're in a room together. And it's so cool to see what people are passionate about, what people are passionate about their collections about. And it's so cool to see other people supporting designers we like or teams we like. Or even if it's like someone complimenting on me on my jerseys. Because there was someone who was in our comments section saying, every time I turned around, I saw you in a different jersey.
Yeah, that was Dustin. He's a big Red Sox and Braves fan. So, I mean, he would love the World Series if it was Boston and Atlanta. But I was like, how do you pick one?
You got to go. If you're from Boston, you still got to go Red Sox.
I mean, he's from North Carolina. So I don't know how he picks who he picks?
I would say if I was from North Carolina, I'd probably be Braves just because they're the team of the South.
Yeah. So I want to continue our questioning, kind of sort of like about the show and how you get into the show. And
all you gotta do is talk to me and John. We'll see what we want to do. We'll get a general idea or a theme for the episode. Like tonight, we were just talking about the playoffs. We had a little bit of a sideline into Pete Rose and Barry Bonds, but that's what happens. Like you have to watch the whole episode and see what tangents we go on. That's the cool thing about shooting live. You never know what we're going to talk about.
The feeling I get is that whenever we shoot live, is that we work off the chemistry that we have, and we always look into what the other person has or a niche that they might know more about, where you might surprise me and pull out a jersey and know the whole story, but I might know like something I read in a Sports Illustrated 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and I might have something special that I want to share. And it comes back on this new kind of series that I want to close this out with, is that the master photos from the Stadium Club set, my dad actually said to me the other day, I remember when I was getting those in boxes and packs myself. And I fucking flipped my lid because I was like, wait a second. My dad knows about master photos and Stadium Club. Dude, my fucking brain exploded. And just that connection alone, it fucking inspired me to do this whole kind of clip called Quotes from My Dad. And I think that it's going to be a very cool series when we start to do it, because I've already planned it. I don't want to really introduce it tonight, but
what I do love about baseball in general is it connects so many different generations. Like when we were talking to John was talking about games from the 80s before me and you were born. And we were talking about players that we both like idolize. Like it's just crazy to think about. Like I'm wearing a jersey from a guy who retired in like the 80s. Yeah. A knuckleballer, probably one of the greatest knuckleballers of all time. The only reason I love knuckleballers is because of him, Wakefield, from the Red Sox.
He was a Bison.
Yeah, he was such a big part of those championship teams and the bullpen that I fell in love with the knuckleball. And R.A. Dickey was another guy I loved watching, even though he was against us most of the time with the Blue Jays. He was with the Braves at one point in his career. I believe he won a Cy Young, too.
He did. And my closing statement for the show would just be like, hey, we're thinking of new segments that we want to do. And my segment is going to be called Stories from My Dad. And like, I have a whole bunch of photos I want to bring in and kind of show off and give everybody like that personal touch.
I think we touched on it earlier in our episodes where we talked about players that were like players we like watched growing up and we liked. I want to start. I have a bunch of Hall of Famers jerseys that I'd like to talk about. One of this is Phil Niekro here that I'm wearing. I wouldn't mind doing an episode where we just talk about Phil Niekro.
Okay.
His Hall of Fame.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do some research and see if I can just kind of learn about it, so I can kind of converse with you if you feel you have a topic like that. But overall, I think Stories from My Dad is really gonna hit, because he can't communicate on the platform, but he can tell me and I can reverberate what he said to me, and we can have this show. And honestly, it's such a great feeling that I have that connection.
Well, it's just like it's like a connection thing. Like I'm a Braves fan because my grandfather saw them play in Boston in the 50s at Nickerson Field before they left to go to Milwaukee.
My dad still has his Indians jacket from when they played at Turner. So like, it's fucking crazy, dude. It is fucking off the hook. I mean, I've been to Jacobs Field, excuse me, not Turner, Jacobs Field. So it was Jacobs Field. He still has the starter jacket. It's fucking perfect. Like, man, just the stories I want to tell based off that. And it's just kind of a preview and what we're going to be going
really cool
into.
For us to do we could call it a major league episode. You can show off that starter jacket and then we can do the stories.
Yeah. So tune in to us next time when we do a major league episode, kind of Indians. We're going to branch out a little bit. We've already done band logos, but we're gonna go into story time of what it was like growing up with the Bisons and Indians as your major league club, and maybe you hear some cool stories. Maybe you like to tune in longer. Remember to like and subscribe. Give us a comment. It really helps us out. Everything we do it for you. We support every maker. We purchase everything buy. We purchase everything. We don't ask for gifts. We don't ask for deals. We just want to support who we love. So if you want to branch off that, TJ, real fast,
we
where
love
I'm going.
hearing. We love like it was really good to get to know Ryan and everybody else. I'd love to see other makers that I bought them from come on the show.
Yeah.
Hopefully at some point. I know we have an episode planned with Fit It Fanatic. I'm not available, but
Yeah.
he's another guy that I'd love to pick his brain a little bit because he's had some cool designs. Like I know John fell in love with that trick or treat hat that's out. Like yeah, I know. And then
so
he had that 30.
I'm a little flabbergasted by that, but as like I'm trying to be the voice of the show, to try and fill in for your absences and so on and so forth, that we still have a diversity platform that we come together on and we talk about hats and we're all about the vibe. So
I'd love to see some clinkers on here too, because me and you have been getting into those clink hats. I'd love to see if a couple guys who submit clinks. I would love to see if we get Joel on the show because he had our logo.
Yeah, and Joel from Full Count Studios. So if you ever see anything from Full Count Studios on the Clink Room, that's our fucking guy right there. So TJ, if you want to wrap this up with me, I'm thinking that we do our peace,
love,
love, and cops. Good night.